What's going on, Jake? How's it going?
What's going on, guys? Happy Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, happy Memorial Weekend to you and family, to all of y'all families and everything. Today, I thought we'd go live to say thank you to a lot of our veterans, a lot of our military personnel that's gone out there and sacrificed their lives, their families that sacrificed their lives for our freedom out here. You know, they paid the ultimate sacrifice. They don't, they're going out to dangerous areas, and it's not if they may die in war, but it's when you enter war and go in places like different countries where, tragedy strikes and stuff. So today we wanted to play some videos and stuff like that. We're going to be doing that in here for a minute. Jake, you have anything you'd like to go ahead and bring?
I just want to say thank you to the sacrifices of all the veterans of the industries, not just the armed forces, but the tow industry, fire, police, all of them. Um, they give the ultimate sacrifice to help
They do.
somebody or make somebody safe. Um, just thank you. Thank you. You'll never be
Yeah,
forgotten.
most definitely never will be. It's crazy. How we have so many people that sacrifice their lives, and a lot of people today take things for granted. For those that's been in the military, y'all definitely know what it's like to not to have nothing at all and survive over the illest bit of means that y'all have, and y'all go through torture and complete hell for us. So thank you, and for the veterans that's in the towing industry, we're here for y'all as well. So. But I'm gonna bring a couple clips on I want us to see, and I think it's very important for us to watch today. So bear with me just 1 second, okay? Just letting everybody know we have some audio difficulties. Bear with it just a minute. Yeah, we're having some technical difficulties. Bear with me just 1 second.
Sorry, guys.
All right. Isn't this how it usually goes, though, Jake?
Only with you, buddy. Only with you. Every time I'm
I
live
thought.
with you, every time that we're live together, something has
Here we go.
happened.
Can you hear the audio?
Negative. You don't need audio for this one. You can get the gist of it just by watching the video. We're having some problems, guys. Sorry. Lynn's trying. Um, please share this out to all the groups if you guys can. We would really appreciate this. Lynn's going to work. I'm going to talk for a minute while he tries to figure stuff out. We appreciate you, Lynn.
Please.
Um, you know, we weren't going to really bring in the tow industry tonight. This was all for memorial for our veterans, but we're all veterans. Um, we haven't died. We're all, you know, in an industry, especially tow ops, that risk our lives every day. And some don't get to go home, just like the military. Um, you know, we put our life out there, police, fire, everybody puts their life out there to make people come home and protect us. And I want to give a shout out to the armed forces of the US of A.
Most
Thank you for your
definitely.
sacrifices, guys.
Amen. Anybody got any questions? Please leave comments in there. We greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, please put some comments in. Let's get this thing talking a little bit before we lose everybody.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Yes, I'm bald again. You notice? I ended up pulling all my hair out one by one with tweezers last night. No, not really. I got away today for a few and had to get away from Facebook today a little bit, you know?
Oh yeah, I understand. Yeah, we almost got this fixed. We had some difficulties with the audio interface, so we fixed that.
Does
It's
anybody have
never
any
even bad.
questions? Please feel free to reach
All right,
out to us.
I see some over here as well.
I can't see any questions. Oh, here we
I'm
go.
popping them up right now. Let's do a chat overlay while everybody's chatting and everything while we're
Yeah.
getting this fixed.
Yes, Rodney, everybody's lives matter. You're absolutely correct. But today or tomorrow, we memorialize the armed forces, everybody who's lost their lives. There we go. Perfect. You're fired, man. Sorry, guys, about the technical difficulties we're having. Um, it happens when you get electronics and Lynn together. Sorry. I'll throw Lynn under the bus today. No worries. Um, he said it'll just be a minute, guys. He's trying to figure it out, you know. So what's everybody got planned for the weekend or tomorrow anyway, Memorial Day? Anybody have any good plans going on? Facebook user. Hey Brenda, thanks for coming in. Hey Rodney. A lot of Facebook users sitting in the house. Old people and technology doesn't go well. Wow, bud. That's not very nice. No one said we had to be though. Working. Yeah, I'm working tomorrow. enjoying my Sunday off here. I don't know, it's got to be 80, 82. It's kind of warm for me, but it's about perfect right now in the shade. Um, you're on the channel. I wish we knew who these Facebook users are. Guys, if you're a Facebook user, come join
It's a tear in the fabric,
365 and it'll
break in the whole, and all we can do is remember. It is, in a way, an odd thing to honor those who died in defense of our country, in defense of us, in wars far away. The imagination plays a trick. We see these soldiers in our mind as old and wise. We see them as something like the founding fathers, grave and gray-haired. But most of them were boys when they died, and they gave up two lives, the one they were living and the one they would have lived. When they died, they gave up their chance to be husbands and fathers and grandfathers. They gave up their chance to be revered old men. They gave up everything for our country, for us. We owe them a debt we can never repay. All we can do is remember them and what they did and why they had to be brave for us.
Their lives ended in places called Bella Wood, Omaha Beach, Salerno, Guadalcanal, the Chosin Reservoir, the jungles of Vietnam, and the deserts and mountains of Iraq and Afghanistan. What they gave us is beyond our power to repay. So, all we can do is remember them. We see them in our minds as old and wise, when most of them were so young. And when they died, they gave up two lives. The one they were living and the one they would have lived. No weapon in the world is more formidable than the will and courage of free men and women. The price for this freedom at times has been high, but we have never been unwilling to pay that price. There are those who say that we are in a time when there are no heroes. They just don't know where to look.
Howdy, pilgrims. Pappy Stew here. Hope this finds you well. It's Memorial Day, the day we set aside to remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice. My grandfather and great uncles lost their friends in World War II in the European and the Pacific theaters. I lost mine in Nam in the Mekong Delta. And our sons and daughters have lost their friends in Iraq and Afghanistan. And I'm sure their sons and daughters will lose theirs in some other foreign shore. If I was an optimist, I'd say that maybe they won't. Maybe they'll get lucky. But history has proved that is probably naive, to say the least. But on this day, we'll do our best to pay them the honor and the memory that their sacrifice deserves. Pappy Stu said it, and I'm out and on the side.
In Flanders fields, the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks, still bravely singing, fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch, be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep though poppies grow in Flanders fields.
What's going on, man?
What's going on?
It's it's one of the hardest things to watch.
It's a
You know,
tearjerker, man.
it is. We all had family that served
Friends.
our country, friends, loved ones. We had so many people around the world that we try to get to realize what we deal with on a daily basis. I
You know,
just
I want to cut you off real quickly, and I want to throw a shout out to the Canadian military also for all the ones that they've lost. I know it's not their Memorial Day, but we got you too, guys.
most definitely. Hold on 1 second. I had to switch over real quick. You know how I got so much going, Jake? I got like 3 or 4 screens over here, and I'm over this multitasking.
You're
I need like
totally
a
good.
switchboard, you know?
You are a switchboard.
Jeez. But it is what I try to figure out, how people take it lightly. You remember when we were growing up? You remember when we were kids, when we see soldiers, and we always want to go up there and say thank you? I really pray tomorrow that everyone that's watching, make sure when you see a soldier that's wearing the correct gear, because let's be aware that unfortunately we do get people right now tomorrow that will be trying to steal valor, which we totally get. But I'm telling y'all, if legitimate agencies, if you just see any troop, make sure to walk up to that soldier and say thank you for what you do, and we appreciate your sacrifices that you make. You know,
Absolutely.
it's a lot of our veterans are in the towing industry, and just want y'all to know, those of you that's tow operators and veterans, thank you. We appreciate you, and I gotta just keep on finding ways to get people to realize that we gotta keep our support and bring awareness, of our troops too. Let's not forget the people that you know are young troops that go out from the ages of 18 to 25, to just going out, making the sacrifice, walking to complete hell. You know,
Well, and the thing is, this day and age, people seem to take stuff for granted. They don't understand World War One, Two, the Revolutionary War. I mean, it goes on and on. That these soldiers sacrificed so we could have what we have now. Um, they sacrificed everything. They gave up their lives at home. They gave up everything. They gave up everything they knew to go join to protect what they loved. And then they sacrificed their life upon doing it. So they didn't just lose one life; they've lost two lives by trying to save our country.
yeah.
Thank you, Barry. Yeah, your son's been in for 14 years now. Thank you for his service. He's in the Royal Canadian, right? USMC in the U.S. Air Force.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
family sacrifices that
You
y'all
know,
made.
and everybody thinks that Memorial Day is it's a somber thing. It
Yeah,
is somber, but it's for us to celebrate their lives, for them to for our armed forces and beyond to know that we're still here, we're still with them. We're not going to forget them ever. For our police officers, our firefighters, everybody who's in the service, any service, you know,
most definitely.
homeland or abroad, we appreciate you. We appreciate the sacrifices you gave to all of us.
And I just want to let people know the reason why I constantly, see a lot of logos and things that I do for things that I do. And it's based on a lot of military. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, the people that I deal business with is veterans. I will spend more money in the world to support our veterans. And I hope that there's ways to legitimately bring more support for for our veterans as well. Let's face it, a lot of them still dealing with PTSD, and it's not going to go away. Unfortunately, the things that they saw, the things they encountered, a lot of us couldn't even imagine to even think how it's like to experience the things they've experienced, because there's no way. And I told before, my best friends that was in the military tell me, no matter how much we explain to civilians what we gone through,
You won't
it
ever
doesn't even
understand.
touch close, and it will baffle you quickly. So the sacrifices they make and they deal with on a daily basis after the sacrifices they made is still going on. It's going on as we speak today. Our military, all branches are making sacrifices. Doesn't matter what branch you're in, you're sacrificing time away from your family. You could be sacrificing your life tomorrow, today. I mean, this hour. I mean, because let's face it, our troops are all over the world right now. That's away from their families, and some of them, you know, may not come home. So you make sure that those of you in the military have family members in the military. Make sure to hug them and kiss them and keep them close by just as well. I think it's very important to treasure the time you spend with them. You know. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we go ahead? Here, sure, we're going to play just a few more videos. We wanted to do this briefly. We know most of you are with your families and everything. We take that in consideration, and we wanted to do this today just, to
And we
say
were kind
thank
of
you.
doing it later in the evening tonight, guys. So we know if you are home, you're
Yeah,
not on the family out there doing everything family days. We weren't trying to like interrupt family matters or gatherings. Um,
almost definitely.
we appreciate every one of you. From Slow Down Move Over North America, we'd like to, you know, tell all the military thank you.
Yeah. And I pray one day that people stop taking life so lightly and realize it could be gone tomorrow.
And to
I was
realize,
talking to somebody the other day. Ever since the COVID has gone away.
gone away.
Well, you know what I mean, gone
It
away. Like
depends where
it's
you
gone
live.
away
It,
compared.
it, it all depends on where you live,
Yeah,
buddy.
it's true.
It all depends on who's your governor.
Yeah, well, it's
That's
been a
all
lot
we're
of severe
saying.
accidents that have increased dramatically. So, for safety
Well,
awareness, I want
the
to say for
people,
those of you that are on the highway, please be cautious. Be aware of your surroundings. I want everybody to make it home. No matter if it's a tow operator, whatever. When you're on the highway, these vehicles are just as deadly as a bullet in the chamber of a gun. It doesn't take much to get seriously injured or death. So just be careful out these holidays. Make sure you get home safe when you're traveling with your family and your children and stuff. Be careful. We know it's busy times. You know.
for the tow operators out there, I'm gonna say a
Yeah.
little something. This is the 100 days of hell starting tomorrow. It's already started for a lot of us. Um, Memorial Day to Labor Day. Remember, there's twice as many people on the road, if not three times during this time. So really watch your six. Keep your head on a swivel, guys. We've lost too many this year, way too many. And thank you for your sacrifices as tow operators, also 100%.
Yeah.
And people just need to remember, slow down and move over. Like, you know, and that's for everybody, not just tow ops. That's for everybody out there. You know, um, slow down, take a breath. Breathe. You don't have to get there 100 miles an hour everywhere you go. You know, remember
Yeah.
everybody wants to go home to their families.
Exactly. All right, guys. Well, we're going to conclude this live for the night. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna play a couple of clips, and then afterwards we're gonna say a few prayers, and call it a night. But I'm gonna play these other clips real quick, and then we'll be with everyone here in a minute.
Please leave comments.
Yes, please leave comments.
My name is Specialist Daniel Mabaza, and I'm with 3G.
And I'm PFC Jacob Callio, and I'm with 1G.
Today we conducted the Memorial Day jump to commemorate the 77 paratroopers who were with the unit who've passed on in the days.
All of us on the jump today, we ended up jumping with name tags in our pockets in honor to remember them and commemorate their sacrifice that they made. In honor to commemorate them, it's very important for us to remember our heritage and where we came from. Unit history is always important, but more importantly, memorizing the soldiers who came before us and built the unit to what it is today, and helping us recognize the families who have lost their loved ones as well.
It's a wonderful thing, it's a wonderful feeling to know that, hey, we come up in the footsteps of those that have gone before us. Yes, that they are fallen, but they are not forgotten at all. We do this to remember who they were, what they've served, the bigger picture they served, and everything they've done before we came into the force.
Said all this to the paratroopers already, but I'll say it again. Guys, thanks for being a part of this today. I don't know if you knew what you were getting into when you said I'll jump on Tuesday. I don't know if you knew you were doing a memorial jump, but I hope this was meaningful to you. I had at least one of you come up to me and say, this is pretty awesome, I'm pretty glad I got to be a part of this. And I hope you guys are feeling that now as we're gathered around here, as we look at the names of all of our fallen up here on the board, representing paratroopers just like you, in MOSs just like you, in duty positions just like you, with families just like you. We want them to be remembered, and we want them to be honored.
I once read that an America without soldiers would be like God without angels. So on this Memorial Day, the day set aside to remember those who paid the ultimate price in service to our nation, I'd like to share the story of one of America's angels. Corporal Bryant J. Luxmore, BJ to all who loved him, was a small-town son of Illinois. He was quiet and reserved, with a wicked sense of humor for those that were lucky enough to know him. His family meant everything to him. His mother Brenda, Father Leonard, his brother and lifelong best friend Brock. Corporal Luxmore loved deeply, and that was never more true than when he met and married the love of his life, Jamie, a small-town Illinois girl herself. They had a son, Lane, a perfect little boy who would grow to love the St. Louis Cardinals as much as his father did. From when he was very young, Corporal Luxmore had talked about the Army. His mom encouraged him to go to college, and he did. But to put it simply, he had a heart for service. Shortly after graduating from Illinois College in 2009, Corporal Luxmore enlisted. He and the Army were in instant agreement on where an athletic, hard-charging, methodical guy like him best fit, the infantry. As his wife Jamie put it, BJ thought if he was going to serve, he wanted to be at the tip of the spear. Corporal Luxmore was assigned to the 2nd Brigade Combat Team, 3rd Infantry Division, Spartans. He, Jamie, and Lane settled into Fort Stewart, Georgia in the fall of 2011. The following spring, he deployed to Afghanistan. It was a painful goodbye. Shortly after arriving in country, he began keeping a journal. The very first entry he wrote would be prescient. If you don't live for something, you will die for nothing. Corporal Luxmore's unit was tasked with patrolling in and around the district of Panjwai, the birthplace of the Taliban, and a stronghold of anti-American fighters. On June 10th, just 2 months into his first deployment, Corporal Luxmore's unit came under enemy small arms fire. He was killed in action. I well know the grief on the ground among soldiers on days like this. The ramp ceremony, the color guard, the final pit in your stomach roll call. I also know the heartbreak back home. A young wife meeting a flag-draped coffin at the military mortuary in Dover. A mother collapsing to her knees upon hearing the news. A tough guy big brother weeping on his father's shoulder. It was one of the singular honors of my military career to represent the Army at the funeral for Corporal Luxmore in 2012. It was my first trip to these communities that surround Rock Island Arsenal, a place I would be stationed some 7 years later. I will never forget the outpouring of love for this young patriot. The high school gym filled to capacity, the athletic display cases with trophy after trophy won by a young BJ Luxmore. The miles of highway lined with people waving flags as a funeral procession passed by. The pain in the Luxmore's eyes as I handed them the folded American flag and uttered those timeless words on behalf of a grateful nation. Here's the thing about Memorial Day. Each of us as American citizens can do our part by slowing down and consciously reflecting on the men and women who have been willing to serve and sacrifice, even to die for us. We can be humbled and grateful, and I hope overwhelmed by that kind of selfless valor. But for families like the Luxmores, this day is personal and poignant. They live in a state of remembrance. On this Memorial Day weekend, Brenda and Leonard Luxmore are grieving the recent death of Brenda's father. As he lay dying in a hospital bed 2 weeks ago, suffering from a long and lingering illness, Brenda had whispered that it was okay to let go, to go be with BJ. Jamie has found love again, remarrying a few years ago. He is a kind and generous man who the Luxmores have welcomed into their lives like a third son. The couple now have a 3-year-old boy who follows around his big brother the way BJ once followed Brock. And Lane, that little boy who lost his dad before he had fully developed lasting memories of him, is now 12 and the spitting image of Corporal Luxmore. He's quiet and reserved to outsiders, but a joy to those who know him. He values family above all else. But perhaps most of all, just like his dad, he's most at home on the baseball field. Back in June of 2012, precisely as his dad was heading out on his final patrol, 3-year-old Lane was suiting up for his first T-ball game. The coach had handed him his uniform, and by absolute chance, Lane got number 4, his dad's old high school and college number. Jamie had laughed, thinking how much BJ was going to love this story. The very next morning, the Army's casualty notification officers knocked on her front door. Corporal Luxmore rests here in this quiet country cemetery, aptly named Hopewell. But he lives on in these communities that loved him. The scoreboards on the high school baseball field are named for him. An annual baseball tournament honors him. His family gives scholarships in his name to local student athletes, and the high school does a blood drive in his memory every year. But what I love most of all is that a proud young man with the last name Luxmore is a standout baseball player in the same community where his dad was. Yeah, and he still wears number 4. On this Memorial Day, I ask something of each of you. Pause to remember Corporal Luxmore and the ones you know and love who gave their last full measure of devotion. Remember our Gold Star families whose grief is forever etched into the fabric of our nation. Parents and siblings like Brenda and Leonard and Brock. Spouses and children like Jamie and Lane. And actively remember those of every generation who believed this great nation was worth everything they had to give. I leave you with this thought. It has been said that soldiers fight not because they hate what is in front of them, but because they so deeply love that which they have left behind. May we all recognize that we are part of that, part of those left behind. And may we more deeply treasure the gift of freedom, knowing others paid an unthinkable price for it.
Well, everybody, let me move this off here. So, man. Not easy.
Crazy.
I know.
Crazy.
Well, I like to end tonight with a prayer. Would you like me to do you, or would you like to do it, Jake?
Go ahead.
Lord, I just want to pray for all of our troops that's overseas and that's dealing with casualties. I would like to pray for all of our veterans that have lost their lives and their families. You know, to have all the support they can have and to be able to cherish. Lord, let's please pray that for these next few years there's no more casualties for our soldiers. And let's all make sure everybody can make it home safe through these devastating times our world has encountered. In the Lord's name, amen.
Amen.
All right, guys. Thank you, everyone that just chose to go ahead and watch our live today. Today's live is dedicated to all of our fallen troops of all branches and to all fallen troops around the world. We got y'all 6 to the end. And everybody, please be safe. For those of you who's traveling during these holidays, try to make it back home after tomorrow. For those of you, please remember, when we're enjoying family gatherings, if you decide to drink, please make sure to order an Uber, Lyft, taxi, whatever, or get a sober driver to make sure you get home. We don't want nothing to happen. We want everybody to have a good time, but be safe for yourself and be safe for others. Until then, take care, and we'll see everyone next time.